For the months of May and June, we'll be giving away 50,000 IOST tokens, along with 3 Ledger Nanos, 2 of them sponsored by Nimic, and 1 special edition Ledger Nano with an on-the-go kit. Winners announced July 1st. To enter, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on every video in May and June for your maximum number of entries. Bit Squad, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at, is Bitcoin going to kill the alts? This is something I've been seeing a lot of people say on Twitter, and we're going to take a look at whether or not I feel that that is true. Got another Fresh 5 video for you guys today, looking at all kinds of different news. We're going to be looking at the weasel Brad Sherman, congressman from California, and things he's saying about banning cryptocurrency. We're going to be taking a look at a huge mistake that somebody made that cost them $400,000 in crypto. And we're also going to be taking a look at the Cash App and how to use it to buy Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and jump into the markets. Market Watch. All right, guys, I'm going to hold a lot of my comments on Bitcoin until the end because that's going to be our top story, as we're now solidly above 6,000. A lot of people are saying 7,000 maybe by the end of this week or next week, you know, and things like that. But the price is running, and you can see it there. Coming in at 62.28 right now. Bitcoin dominance continuing to rise at 58.2%, standing by everything I've said regarding Bitcoin dominance over the last week. Market cap is almost at 190 billion. We will probably be crossing over 200 here pretty soon. All the rest of the altcoins are going down pretty much. It's a massacre day today for a lot of altcoins, a lot of red. Biggest winners of the day are ArcBlock, Redcoin, Aurora, Chainlink, and Digix DAO. Losers, Holochain, Populous, Cosmos, Maximind Coin continuing to be so volatile, and Wax. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit more about Bitcoin at the end. Number 5. Okay, so I'm making this special news segment for my boy Mike that lined up my beard today. So basically, I've been looking for somebody that could help me fix my beard, shape it so we can grow it out. I got a podcast called Beards and Bitcoin, so you know I got to have my beard on point, especially next week, going to consensus. So, you know, I went and got it done. So at the end, he was like, okay, it's going to be 10 bucks or whatever. So I said, okay, well, I don't have any cash. He's like, well, you can use the Square app. And the long and the short of it is, we ended up getting in this conversation about Bitcoin and the Square app. He didn't know much about it. I'm not even sure if he had heard of Bitcoin before. I think maybe he had heard of it, but he didn't really know what it is. So we talked about it, and I told him he could accept Bitcoin, you know, for cutting people's hair and things like that. And so I showed him how to buy Bitcoin on the Cash App. And you may want to know how to do that too, because maybe you don't like Coinbase. Maybe you think Coinbase is, you know, too centralized. So this is the Cash App. You can see it with the little green and the dollar sign. So this is how you buy Bitcoin on the Cash App. It's very easy. You just click there. You guys can see that's my account there. Now, if you want to use this, I can get $5. So make sure if you want to download this app or you want to use it, use the link. I'll put it down at the top so you guys can see it. But, you know, it's a good alternative for Coinbase. Coinbase is very easy to use. So this is how you do it. Basically, you have to load cash. So you click cash right there. Oh, God, you guys can see the last 4 of my debit card. I'm screwed. So what you want to do right here is basically add cash. You just hit add cash. You add how much. I've already put in $10. So you just go to this Bitcoin wallet right here. You click Bitcoin, and it pops up. And I want to buy. So click buy. And then I'm going to buy $10 because that's what I have in my account. And boom, we're going to confirm. It's that easy, guys. That's how easy it is. So after you complete the purchase, you actually do have to put in a PIN number. You have to create a PIN, and then you have to give them your email address so they can basically email you a confirmation. But that's how easy it is, guys. Right now, you can see I've got, it charged me a little fee there, as you can see, 12 cents. But, you know, I was able to buy $10 worth of Bitcoin that easy on the Square app. And if you watched my video a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how the Square app has actually, you know, I think 4 or 5x'd the amount of Bitcoin it's selling on the app Q1 this year compared to Q1 next year. So Square app is going to continue to be a player. And if you are a maximalist, which I'm not, we'll talk about what a maximalist is here at the end of the video. But if you're a maximalist, then you know what? You want to use this because Jack Dorsey is a maximalist. And so he says they're not going to have any more crypto other than Bitcoin on Cash App. So you can see here in my account, I got $10 right there, sitting there, $9.88 of Bitcoin. So, you know, It's something you may want to consider using instead of Coinbase, especially if you're one of those people that deleted your Coinbase during the hashtag delete your Coinbase event. So, all right, guys, that is it. That's how you use the Cash App. I hope you found that helpful. And like I said, if you're going to do it, use my link. I need $5, guys. This is the only way I'm going to be able to pay for my beard getting lined up. I need the $5. So please do it. I'm just kidding. Use it if you want. Don't if you don't. Number 4. Okay, guys, coming in at number 4, and I'm probably actually going to do a full review of the... All right, guys, coming in at number 4, we got a big announcement from the Honeyminer. One of my best videos I ever did in terms of views was when I showed people how to use the Honeyminer. If you remember watching that video, I was running it on a different computer because I said that, unfortunately, it was not out for Mac. Well, the big news is Honeyminer is now available for Mac computers. So I'm not going to run it on my main computer that I use, but I do have basically a burner Mac that I use for some crypto transactions and things like that. So I'm going to use that Mac to mine some cryptocurrency, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So you can see it right there. It says available now. Now, a lot of people give Honeyminer some flack because, you know, if you actually work the numbers and let's say you don't do any referrals from the Honeyminer, which once again, if you want to download, referral link below. But, you know, if you do want to do that, that's great. Whatever, if you don't, you know, no sweat off my brow. No sweat off my brow on that. But, you know, you can see the Mac is available, but a Honeyminer gets some flack because some people say that if you really break down the power cost from your computer, that you would actually be better off actually taking the money that you're paying for your power bill and buying crypto directly. That's fine. However, I think it's fun. I think the Honeyminer's fun. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think that you're going to get rich on it by any stretch of the imagination. But if you got an extra computer laying around and you want to mine some crypto, it's kind of cool. Like, honestly, this is probably the furthest I'm going to get into mining. So for somebody like me that wants to do it as a hobby, don't really care about the money side of it, then it's fun. So, you know, I suggest you guys go to Honeyminer, links below. You can download it, try it out, see if you like it. If you don't, I will be doing a full review on the Mac version probably this weekend, so be on the watch out for that. But, you know, pretty big news that they were actually able to get this coded and everything for Mac users because I'm exclusively Mac. Number 3. Okay, we got this really interesting story here on Reddit. A lot of people think that this is actually a fake story, that this actually did in fact happen, but that the guy writing it is not actually the guy who it happened to. But, you know, I don't know. That's really kind of getting into a little too judgmental. I'm just going to take it for face value. The long and the short of this story is there was a guy who did not understand, you know, the full repercussions of doing market buys. He did a market buy on Binance for $500,000, I believe in Chainlink or Paxos, one or the other. And there was some kind of glitch when it went through, which I use market buys all the time. So, you know, this does concern me a little bit. But basically, he bought $43 worth of crypto or $28 worth of crypto for $500,000. And he's put in a request to Binance. They haven't responded yet. I do believe they will respond. If it is that egregious, then, you know, I'm sure he'll probably get his money back. But, you know, it just really drives home the point that you guys have to be careful when you're using Binance. You know, when I first started using Binance, a lot of you guys know I've been in Bitcoin for a long time, but I didn't start using Binance until 2017. And, well, Binance wasn't around before 2017. But hey, I didn't use a lot of, you know, I wasn't buying a lot of altcoins until then. And so I got on Binance and I started using it. And the stop loss stuff is really confusing. And so one time I thought I was setting a stop loss, but I actually bought, I had the Satoshis at a very low level because I was like, oh, if it drops below this, I want to sell it. But what I ended up doing is selling my crypto right then at my stop loss amount. So you have to be careful. That's why I use 3 commas for stop loss stuff, because you don't have to worry about any problems with it. I know a lot of you guys know, you know, I've worked with them in the past, did a video for them, you know, links down below if you're interested in that. I'm not showing you my links. Please don't click on any of the links. Do not click on any of the links, please. I'm not showing you links, but I do have a link for it. But, you know, 3 commas allows you to be able to do things like this through API. And you're able to set these really easily, so you don't have to worry about making these really huge mistakes. So you guys just be careful out there. I know for most of us, we don't come from a stock background. We come from just being interested in the digital world, and that's how we came into cryptocurrency. So just know there are some big mistakes that you can make out there in crypto on exchanges that can affect you big time. So be careful when you're making orders. Maybe break your orders up. Don't do them all at one time if you have $500,000 sitting around. But we'll keep looking at this. Hopefully we'll have a story about how he got his money back. That will be much better than losing $500,000. And that's terrible. And those are the kind of things that kind of give crypto a bad name. So just make sure you're being careful with your purchases. Number 2. Look at this weasel, Brad Sherman. I hate this guy. Political stuff notwithstanding. Like, I disagree with him on so many things. It's really hard to wrap it into one video. But I mean, look at this guy. He looks like a freaking clown, honestly. You could freaking drive and turn around a semi-truck on that forehead. And I'm sorry, I don't even feel guilty about saying that. And once again, guys, I have luscious locks. I do not have a cul-de-sac on my head. I feel the need to point that out because people think that I'm bald. But anyway, this is good for my green screen, guys. That's the only reason I wear it. You Bit Squad OGs, you know this. But anyways, this guy, first of all, I've said this before on videos, he's so hated by even his own party that he doesn't even go on CNN. Like, they ask him on Fox News because even CNN doesn't want this guy on there, as liberal as they are. See, MSNBC, they don't want him. Nobody wants this guy. He's so annoying. So he wants to introduce a bill to ban all crypto. Why? Because it may compete with the dollar. They're getting very scared, guys. These people are getting scared of what's happening. Now, if this guy just had this opinion, it would be one thing. But politicians are driven by one thing and one thing only: their political survival. That's what they're interested in. So how do they survive politically? Through lobbyists. Lobbyists drive this entire political infrastructure that we have. So his number one investor, contributor, donator to his campaigns, a credit card processing company, a credit card transaction processing company. So that's basically what this is. You can look at his information here and you can see top contributors 2017, 2018, Capital Group Companies, Royal Business Bank. So doesn't surprise me at all. Look at this, securities and investment, top industry. You guys don't think that's a coincidence? It's not at all. If you do think it's a coincidence, it's not. That's what's driving this guy. This is what he said. So he said on a video, he said, I look for colleagues to join me in introducing a bill to outlaw cryptocurrency purchases by Americans so that we nip this in the bud. In part because an awful lot of our international power comes from the fact that the dollar is a standard unit of international finance and transactions. So not because there's anything wrong with it, but because we might not be as powerful, which I would argue that is not where the United States power comes from. But that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, so this is totally idiotic, totally stupid. I can't stand this guy. I hope that the people in his district in California, who probably lap up everything that he says, I hope that they can see through this and see through this weasel, spineless, clown-looking person. He's actually been in crypto people's DMs before telling them to lay off of him. So he's a pansy. He's another P word I don't even really want to say on the channel because we're family friendly. But honestly, I hate this guy. And I really hope that we can remove this guy out of power. So if you're in California and you're in his district, you need to take note of stuff like this. And regardless of your politics, even if you are a Democrat, when the nomination process comes up for his seat, you need to fight to get somebody else in there. If you're in California, you're in crypto, and you're not fighting against this guy, then you're a traitor to this entire movement. So anyways, guys, don't like to get too political with things, but this is a huge political, he's trying to make this political right now. So, definitely let's make sure to try to do something about this guy. Hold up. It's time for an IOST break. All right, IOST break. So IOST has the mainnet token burn. They've now burned 155 million ERC20s. This is, I think, the 5th round that they did. I can't see it. It doesn't say here right here. Yeah, 6th round. This is the 6th round of tokens that they've burned. So why are they burning these? Because the token swap is in full swing. So basically, once a project, including IOST, launches a mainnet, then that means that their token is able to be on its own. It no longer needs another platform to survive. That's the difference between a coin and a token. Coin needs another, or a token needs another platform to survive. A coin does not. So the ERC20 token, which most projects right now start out as, means that it's a token on Ethereum. So when a project launches its mainnet, it's like they take the training wheels off and they no longer need the old token. They, have their own independent coin or token. So that's why they're burning these. And this is good because this means that people are actually taking part in the token swap. Now, token swap, if you've never done one, it's really, really, really easy. All you got to do is take your tokens, deposit them onto an exchange like Binance, for instance, one that honors a token swap. And then once you deposit it, any that you withdraw are now going to be the regular token and not the ERC20. So that's why they did this burn. This isn't a burn of the actual IOST current token right now. And it does get a little confusing because IOST stands for Internet of Services Token. And in a way, it needs the IOST platform. That's its whole purpose. But in a lot of ways, it's not on another platform. So in a lot of ways, people would classify this as actually a coin, but they call themselves a token. Kind of like, Binance calls themselves a coin, but it's actually been a token. So up until they launched their mainnet. So, just a little bit about this, how many rounds they've had, that you can check out the transaction records and things like that. So, this is just another sign that this project is continuing to move forward and that the token swap is going successfully. The number one crypto story of the day. Number one story. Here's why Bitcoin price is looking at an eye-popping bull run. So basically what this goes to talk about is that Fidelity is coming soon, and that the Binance exchange did not affect the price of Bitcoin. And it didn't really. We've seen it's bounced back so strong. And this lines up with a lot of stuff that I've told you guys, which is that the price right now, where we're going, the market is strong enough that bad news can't really take us down. The Bitfinex news did not do it. The Binance hack did not do it. And I don't think we will see anything that will be able to drop the price more than a quick panic drop, which is what we've seen 2 times now. Now, here's the thing. We go back to this Bitcoin dominance number, and right now we're looking is 58.2%. I think it's going to move closer to 60% or so. And once it moves closer to 60%, that is when we are going to see the bottom drop out of this Bitcoin dominance. I believe this. We've seen it before with runs. And so people are saying, well, why does that happen? I had a good friend of mine that, recently that said, could you explain, what does that even mean? I don't understand. Will Bitcoin fall? No, that doesn't mean that the price of Bitcoin is going to fall, because what's going to happen is the same way that Bitcoin has been rising and the market cap has been rising and Bitcoin dominance has been rising, the alts have been staying the same. Some have pumped, but in general, they're not moving like the traditional thought of all, Bitcoin raises all ships, because that's not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing these alts kind of standing in place. I mean, if you look at a lot of the charts, while Bitcoin is going up, the alts are kind of almost going down or either straight across. And so what happens is people start realizing that they've made profits in Bitcoin. If you bought in December, you've now over doubled your money, or about doubled your money. So what is happening is people now have profit, and you can take that profit. And now that you've made money, like if you invested $30,000 in Bitcoin in December, you've now made $30,000. So now you got house money. You're playing with house money with that $30,000. You could half your Bitcoin investment and pull all of the money out that you put into it, and you've made $30,000. Like, that's awesome, but that's not what most people do. What most people do is they want to take that house money and now they want to gamble with it. Now they want to make those riskier investments, because that $30,000 that they would still have sitting in Bitcoin if they cut their investment in half, like that's still going to go up too, you know, so they're still going to make money on that. So you can make those riskier investments in altcoins, whether it's low cap gems or top 50 projects. And once that starts happening, we will see a mass rush of people putting those profits into altcoins. And that is what makes altcoins go parabolic. That's what altcoin season is. That's why the price of, or the Bitcoin dominance will fall. And I believe it's going to fall very quickly when it starts to fall. We've been seeing slow movement up. We saw it stable for a long time. I think we will see that Bitcoin dominance just drop like a rock once this finally starts happening. And that is what will push the price of the altcoins up. But Bitcoin does not necessarily fall during that time. That doesn't mean that the price of Bitcoin is going to go down. The only thing that's going to affect is that is going to affect the Bitcoin dominance level. That doesn't mean people will be paying any less for Bitcoin when it happens. That just means that the dominance is falling. And now when we see the market cap rising, or, you know, the market cap may even stay the same, we're just going to see like kind of a redistribution of where people have their investments. And I strongly believe this is going to happen. People that are saying altcoins are going to die, like, first of all, you've never been through one of these cycles before. If you have, you would not be so dumb to say that, because we've already seen over and over that's not what happens. What happens is the Bitcoin price rises, people pull out money, they put it in altcoins, and the altcoins rise too. Also, we actually have working products in crypto now. So I want you to answer this question. If you're a maximalist, and by maximalist, I want to draw a distinction between people like me who believe that Bitcoin will always be number one, and I believe Bitcoin will continue to lead the pack, but I believe that the Bitcoin dominance level doesn't have to be over 35% for that to still be true, and people that are hardline maximalists that say all altcoins are going to die Bitcoin only, like Tone Vays, for instance, which he's certainly entitled to his opinion. But, like, do you guys think Binance coin is going to die? Like, it just got hacked for $40 million and is down 7%. You think that thing's going to die? You think $1 billion company like Binance is going to die quickly? You think that's going to happen? You think Brave browser that's now being mentioned in the same breath of Chrome and Firefox and is way ahead now of Internet Explorer, like, you think that's going to die? You think that there's going to be no reason for Basic Attention Token to be, you know, traded within that platform for tips or for content or for watching ads? Like, is that what you think? And you go through and you start looking down at the list, and there's plenty of these projects that are not going to die. You got Monero, a privacy coin. You know, I'm not super bullish on privacy coins, but, you know, they have a place in the ecosystem. You think that's going to die? Well, then that kind of goes against your whole thought. Like, Bitcoin isn't private anymore, so what are people going to do? Now, it could, you know, there are some protocols that could be added to make it private again, but not going to really get into all that. So, you think that Tron and Ethereum and EOS and IOST, these platforms that have working dApps now, you think they're going to die? They're not, guys. I don't see any way that happens. I believe we will see more coins, not less. I've come to believe this over time. I do think we will see projects die, but we've seen the ICO basically die, and now we have IEOs that are running pretty strong, and it's harder to start an IEO because you've got to work with an exchange. So I think that will limit the number of projects that are coming into the space, and will kind of keep a good dam, if you will, a good dam, like a water dam, you know, keep too many alts from breaking through and infiltrating the market like we had last year. So, or 2 years ago and last year as well. So I think the people that say that are totally, you know, unattached from reality. And I've said this many times, there's this thing that people do and it drives me insane, where basically you read something one time, you read a tweet. It can be as simple as a tweet where someone says something that you respect. And now all of a sudden, you take that person's thought and you attach that to yourself. So now you start thinking, because this cartoon avatar on Twitter said altcoins are going to die, you say, that guy's smart. I'm going to attach that to myself. So I'm going to start tweeting things about altcoins dying. But really, you just read a freaking tweet. You have nothing to base that on. That person may have something to base it on, but you have nothing to base it on other than someone said it. And so I really encourage you guys, when you see things on Twitter or you see things on YouTube, do your own research. Look and see if you really believe this, because my research leads me to believe that there's no way altcoins are dying. We may see a mass exodus of many of them. That may happen. I've moved to the point where I don't believe that will happen, but that may happen. Are altcoins going to die? No. Are altcoins going to take a huge hit in the next bull run? No. They're going to go crazier than ever, guys, because the general public is interested in altcoins because they're like a penny or they're like a dollar. The mind of a new investor to think that, oh, you know, Bitcoin's already at $6,300. I can't really invest in that, because people don't understand the way you break Bitcoin down and you can buy fractions, whatever it might be. Your new investor, the new money that comes in, they would rather buy 100 XRPs. They would rather buy 100 XRPs for, you know, 25 bucks or however much it is. And because they may buy into the stuff that it's going to the moon, whatever it might be, 589 Ripple, whatever. But people would rather own more of something than own a fraction of one thing. So if you can't get that through your head, I really have I don't have anything I can do for you. But be very careful about reading things on Twitter and taking those as your own thoughts. So make sure you're reading all sides. I read a lot of different sides of things when I'm doing research. I read things that say Bitcoin is going to die. Now, I laugh at them, but I read them. I want to know what other people are thinking on the other side and from the other perspective. So definitely challenge you guys to do that. And, like I said, I'm not a maximalist. I do believe Bitcoin will always be number one. I think we need to radical maximalist is something I've heard about, the hardline maximalists that believe all altcoins are going to die, but I just can't wrap my head around it. So, you know, let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think altcoins are going to die? Do you think Bitcoin's going to continue to run? Do you think the dominance is going to fall? Drop those comments below, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. BitBoy out.